Did you know you can have your own fabric printed? This has been something I've wanted to do for a while and haven't found the perfect project for until recently. Early this Christmas season, I started to look for Christmas pajamas for my family, and although I found so many cute options, I didn't end up buying any. Around the same time, I started learning about creating seamless patterns on my iPad. This is something a friend of mine has been telling me for a while I should explore, and I started to do this because I was creating a cover for my sewing journal, which is now out in the world, by the way. So as I was designing the covers for the journal, I really started playing around with a design that made me think of this crazy idea of what if I made our own Christmas pajamas this year in my own fabric. When I came up with the idea, I didn't have a ton of time before the Christmas season. After thinking through all the options, I decided to start smaller this year by just designing pajamas for me and my daughter. So I will definitely make some for my husband and son next year, and I'll start earlier. This is what it looks like to design a pattern on Procreate, which is an iPad app you can use for so many different things. And seriously, if you have an iPad, you need Apple Pencil and this Procreate app because it is so much fun. I played around with many different options, some that were more Christmassy than others, and I landed on a design that was a nod to Christmas but could be worn year around. I had a sample pack of the fabric that Little Cocalico offers, and I felt like this organic interlock cotton would be perfect fabric for a soft pajama. I actually loved ordering it through Little Cocalico so much that I reached out to them to see if they wanted to share a discount code for you, and thankfully they said yes. You can use the code ROONEY10 for 10% off your order of fabric. It felt like Christmas morning opening up my very own custom printed fabric, and it was perfect. It washed wonderfully, and the beautiful thing about this fabric is it doesn't wrinkle, which is great for a fabric that you're going to be sleeping in. First, I took my loose ideas from pen to paper, and that is where my sewing journal came right in handy. I have designed this sewing journal, and I'll share more about it, but if you are interested, it is available, and I've linked it below. But I took my sewing journal and just started planning out the projects. I knew a loose idea of what I wanted to make for my daughter, so I started on her pajamas first. I went with a nightgown and used the Ola dress pattern as my starting point. The main differences I made to this nightgown version was I added elastic to the neckline instead of a neckband. You can do this easily by folding the neckline over where the gathers are originally added in the pattern and folding it over the width of the elastic that you want to add and creating a channel to thread the elastic through. I made a short sleeve version also and chose not to add elastic to the sleeves for comfort while sleeping. For the bottom hem, I added a sweet ruffle detail and bias tape to act as a piping detail. Since I chose not to add elastic to the sleeves, I wanted to add something special to elevate it, and I added a scallop detail that my machine has built into it. I've never used this stitch before, and it's a cute little addition to the sleeves along with the piping. I also wanted these pajamas to feel classic, so I worked with my mom and her embroidery machine to embroider our initials on the pockets. The nightgown was so simple to do, I could have even made myself one, and so maybe I will in the future. Now, for my own pajamas, I chose a classic pajama design by Closet Core Patterns. This was my first time sewing this pattern as well as adding piping to a garment. I cut out most of my pattern pieces and at the end realized I was really scrapping for fabric. I thought I may have to order more, but as I was pressed for time and really wanted to savor my Christmas season actually wearing these pajamas, I chose to patchwork some pieces together to finish cutting my pattern pieces. Looking back, I'm really happy with my decision to be resourceful with the fabric. One, it is barely noticeable of where I needed to piece the fabric together. Two, these are pajamas and I'll be wearing them at home. And three, it just feels good to use what you have and have those little quirks about something you've made. It really weaves the story of a garment together. Little moments like this remind me what I love about sewing, the story that comes along with the finished product. And at the end of the product, sitting down and thinking back and going over what the project meant to me and what I learned, what I would do differently next time, what I liked and didn't like. Kind of this decompressing, I think, has actually helped me as I've sewn to become better and to learn what I like and to make each product better and to grow as a sewist. This whole project of sewing my daughter and myself Christmas pajamas was a joy to create. Not only did I learn and get to practice so many skills like I talked about, I can't believe I made the design and the finished product. Now the possibilities are endless and I have many more fabric designs in mind for the future. So I'm personally excited to see just how I grow as a designer in fabrics as well as patterns. I'm really proud of how these pajamas turned out. They are so cozy. They are exactly what I hoped they would be. And I hope this inspires you to take up a new skill, whether that's designing your own fabric or even just taking out an iPad and doodling if you have one. I think it is so fun and just exciting what we can create with our hands. So fulfilling to create something with your hands. And so I hope this Christmas season you slow down a bit, take some time to do something you love with your family, for your family, something that fills yourself up. And I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.